light of day was I able to take in some of the true devastation our community has endured. What we are experiencing is truly heartbreaking. Historic flooding, landslides, massive power and water outages, total devastation of our beautiful communities and families and individuals who barely made it out, and some who sadly have lost everything and possible casualties. This is a dynamic event that changes constantly. While we do not have total counts for casualties, injuries, damage to personal property, or even what we can expect to happen the next day after the rivers crest, what will not change is our focus on your safety. There are 2 mass shelters designed to provide a safe location for people who are unable to safely stay in their homes. The WNC Agriculture Center and Asheville Harris Cherokee Center. The Ag Center is located at 1301 Fannin Bridge Road in Fletcher, North Carolina. That is 1301 Fannin Bridge Road, Fletcher, North Carolina. The shelter will be located in the Davis Building and can be accessed by using Gate 5. Asheville Cherokee Center is located at 87 Haywood Street in downtown Asheville. Again, that is 87 Haywood Street in downtown Asheville. We know this has been especially difficult with so many cell towers out of service. If you cannot call 911, please text 911. We are finding that texts are starting to come through. I'm going to turn this over to Assistant Fire Chief Jeremy Knighton with the City of Asheville. But before I do want to say that my heart is sad for the losses, but my heart is big for all of the effort that I've seen from our first responders during this event. Our emergency services crew have responded to hundreds of calls since yesterday morning. Our fire departments have had to overcome significant challenges during this event, and I cannot thank them enough for their work and their dedication. We are in touch with partners across the state, region, and even our country, and we will bring additional resources to our community as quickly as we can. Now I'll turn it over to Assistant Fire Chief Jeremy Knighton from the Asheville Fire Department. Jeremy?
Good afternoon. As Ms. Pender said, this has been a very busy 48 hours. We are currently staffing with over 200 firefighters are in the streets rescuing our fellow community members. We are still in 100% life safety mode, and we are very concerned for the life safety of our community. You all are of our most importance during this time. And we are, as Ms. Pender said, our hearts are heavy. We want to just remind you and just know that you have, again, over 200 dedicated firefighters, resources from outside our community, and resources from across the nation here helping us during our time of need, as we have done many times for others. The collaboration and the communication from our partners, our stakeholders, the text messages we received, that our firefighters have received, we can't thank you enough for that, and we appreciate you thinking of us. However, right now we have a job to do, and that job is to get out there and help anybody and everybody that we can. Text 911, again, if you need help. Also, we have, to this point, we have made over 60 rescues from moving water, and we have evacuated over 500 of our fellow community members to safety. Please remember, turn around and don't drown. Those barricades are up for a reason. If something is flagged with yellow or red flagging tape, it is done so for your safety. Please help us help you. Again, we appreciate your support, and we thank you for your support, and we are truly thinking about you. And I'm going to turn it over now to Ryan Cole with Buncombe County Emergency Services.
Good afternoon. We are unequivocally in the most significant natural disaster of our lifetime here in Buncombe County and maybe in history. As you might have heard, our emergency crews are still having to prioritize life-saving missions. And with that, as the calls come in for 911, we have to determine which have the highest priority to make sure that we can get people to the life-saving needs that they have as quickly as possible. We're actively going through our call log in 911 to track our rescues. And from 5 a.m. to 3 p.m. today, we had over 3,349 calls in the 911 center where they were handling 9 to 10 calls per minute. And this was done with the assistance of call centers across the state. And we had, again, with that prioritization, we're going back through and making sure that we're hitting every single one of those calls and getting to you. If you have not received assistance and you need you have immediate needs, that is life safety needs, call 911 back again. During the peak of more than 130 swiftwater rescues have occurred since the beginning of this weather event, and we have roads closed all over the region. I-40 at Old Fort is closed. I-40 in Haywood County going through the gorge at mile marker 4 is closed. I-26 going into Henderson County is closed. I-26 going into Johnson City is closed. So we're having a significant, difficult time getting resources in here. However, our partners with DOT, Highway Patrol, and across the state are working very diligently to get those roads open. But we ask for you to be patient and please stay off the roads unless you have an immediate need to get out. At this time, we have power outages throughout the county, and most stores are not open at this time. So please, again, stay home until we can start getting some of the power restored to allow them to work and keep you out of the hazards there. We've had multiple reservoir and dam issues within this, which has extended the amount of water that has gone into the system, and we're continuing to see some of that occur as we go through. As we have gotten to the lighter side of the storm, there is daylight out there, but there are still significant hazards, and please be very aware. We still have trees that are falling due to the high winds and the unstable ground that's in there. So make sure that if you are out, even if you're at your home, that you're being very aware of your environment. At this time, we're also out in the field, still running calls and coordinating with local and federal partners to be able to get those resources in here and utilizing the resources that we currently have already here in the county. Rescue teams, SAW teams, high water vehicle teams were all activated and are still out working, making active rescues, as Jeremy alluded to earlier. So if you see those out, be sure to stay clear of those people, and please don't have them come rescue you. Please stay away from the water and do not try to cross any area where the roads might be washed out. There's standing water in the roads, because with that standing water, there might not be a road underneath it. And we've lost multiple vehicles today and last night due to people trying to cross in those areas. Please only call 911 for life or text 911 for life-threatening situations. As we alluded to earlier, the text messages are getting through. Calls are not. We are trying to work with our cell phone providers to get 911 or get the cell tower communications back up. But until we do, utilize the text services and the 911 to be able to get that, they can get that text. I'd like to acknowledge the significant efforts of our first responders. They are doing a tremendous job in life-threatening conditions, and they continue to do that. They'll continue to do that through the night and they've not stopped for the last 3 days, and they're going to keep going until we get resolve of this disaster, which is not going to be anytime soon. This is something that we're going to be dealing with for many days and weeks to come. So please be patient, work with us in trying to take care of our neighbors, and do everything you can to look out for each other. Now I'd like to turn it over to Chief Lamb.
Hello, everybody. This is Chief Mike Lamb with the Asheville Police Department. I just want to really reiterate what Ryan said, that it's very dangerous out there. If you don't have to be out, please do not go out. We currently have a lot of phone lines, power lines that are down across roadways, down across the water. We've got a lot of flooded streets in the city of Asheville and in the outlying areas. So a lot of streets are impassable. Since there's no power, there's also no traffic signals. So it's the intersections are very dangerous. The roadways are very dangerous. We have a lot of power lines and power poles that are cracked and are leaning. And because the ground is so soft, we also have trees that are in the midst of falling over. So just please, if you do not have to be out there, don't go out there. Because of the danger and the fact that there's power lines down, there's no street lights that will be on, and there's also very limited cell service that is out there right now. We're going to institute a curfew, at least for the next 2 nights. The curfew is going to start at 7:30 p.m. and go until 7:30 a.m. each day. So that's going to be from nightfall all the way until dawn. So please, with everybody watching, please let other folks know that there's going to be a curfew this evening. So do not be out after dark. It is a serious safety issue when it is dark. A lot of times you cannot see water on the roadway. And we've had to do several water rescues from vehicles today where officers and first responders have to put themselves at risk to try to save folks that are driving into the water. So just like we've said several times, turn around, don't drown. We've got several officers that are coming in tonight. This is an all hands on deck to where every officer that's been able to make it into work today is at work. So please don't put your first responders at risk. Don't put us at risk by being out in the public unnecessarily. So, and again, remember, we're doing a curfew this evening, 7:30 p.m. to 7:30 a.m., and then again tomorrow evening. Now I'll turn it back over to the county.
Thank you for these very important remarks, everyone. And at this time, we'll open this briefing up to questions from our media partners who are on the Zoom call. You can either unmute yourself or you can type your questions into the chat.
Sorry, Lucas Tomei with Carolina Public Press. I was wondering if you guys had a fatality count that you guys could share with us at this point, and if you could give us an update on the landslide earlier that affected those 4 homes.
So currently we do not have a fatality count. We have not gotten all of our reports in from the field. We are still looking at that information and we'll be compiling that. And once we get that compiled, once all notifications are made, then we'll be able to look at that information and have that out. As far as the landslide that occurred earlier, that landslide that occurred was up in the Garin Creek community. And I can tell you it took about 4 hours to reach or more to reach the Garin Creek community where that was at. And that was because of road damage. It was trees down, so they had to cut their way in. We had to get heavy equipment just to get other equipment through to be able to continue up. And then whenever they got there, and they're still there, trying to go through that specific event, and it is scattered out across a very large area with those 4 houses, and significant dirt and mud has shifted across the ground, creating a very dangerous and large search area that they're working in.
We have a question in the chat. What are the capacities at the Ag Center and Harrah's Cherokee Casino, or sorry, Harrah's Cherokee Center emergency shelters? How many people are there now? Will another emergency shelter be opened?
Yes, at the Ag Center, we actually currently have 150 people, and that capacity is 500, so we do have some room still at the Ag Center. We are currently working with AB Tech to open up a third shelter. At Harrah's Center, there's over 400 people, so that is almost at capacity there. So the third center would be at AB Tech, the conference center on Fennerhurst Drive, and AB Tech is being staffed up now. We don't have power, as you know, so we're working through what does that look like not to have power at a shelter. And that would also be a 500 count as well.
Are there any additional questions? Okay. I don't see any in the chat. Thank you all for joining us today. Here's one more question. Do you all know how many people have been impacted? When might water be back on?
So as far as the number of people that have been impacted, we will be conducting damage assessments. We'll start off with doing surveys through the responders that have been out in the field for some of that impact. Then it will go through a damage assessment process to give us that amount that has been impacted. And due to the amount of road damages and amount of debris that's in the roadways to be able to get throughout the entire county, it is going to be several days before we have an exact number of people that have been impacted. As far as the water, I will turn that over to Jeremy with the City of Asheville.
Yeah, so at this time, we're currently assessing everything with the water situation. One of the big hindrances right now is access. We're working through those multiple trees down, and a lot of our roadways are very similar to the pathways that our water lines travel. So in order for us to get safely in there to assess the damage and begin to fix the damage, we are working with those chainsaw crews, and as that water recedes, we will be able to further assess the impact to our water system. We have folks in the field now doing those assessments, and we will absolutely let everyone know more as we gain that critical access to that infrastructure.
Thank you. Are there any additional questions? I know there might be a lag in what you all are able to send through on your end. Trying to be patient with you. Okay, I'm not seeing any other questions coming into the chat. So thank you all for joining us for the fifth briefing. We will be back with you tomorrow on Facebook Live at Buncombe Gov for the 10 a.m. media briefing. Thank you.